All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get this episode started off, I just wanted to take a minute and recall some of the legends that we've lost in the past few days. Two of them were very special to both of us, and the world lost another one. First off, I wanted to honor the great Ted Lindsay, who was 93 years old when he passed away. He was the founder of the NHLPA, the NHL Players Association. He was a 4-time Stanley Cup champion and just a great all-around player and personality to have around. And the second is Luke Perry, who was a very well-known actor on Hollywood. He acted in 90210, which is just absolutely, he was just, over the years, people grew up with that show. And he also acted in Riverdale as well. So our condolences go out to your families. We are thinking about all of you guys, and rest in peace. All right, Cameron.
All right.
We owe these guys an episode.
You're damn right we do.
Owe these guys an episode. It feels like it's been forever since we did one. No. I feel like it's just like I can't explain it. It's just like we've never done an episode before. That's how long it's been.
Definitely has been so long.
Lord. Either way, we're coming back with new episodes weekly now, so it doesn't matter. All right. We need no intro. So basically, why you didn't hear an introduction this week, usually we'd have our theme music playing, but there's a reason why I didn't include it, is because we're changing up the intro a little bit. We're going to change how we do things in the next few weeks. So I'm really excited to kind of bring that in, but at the same time, frig, that was like a 40-second intro. We didn't need that at the beginning of the podcast every week. Good.
Oh,
jeez. All right, Reeser. Since I have you here, what are we going over today? I'm going to let you bring in the greatness this time.
All right, we are talking about the trade deadline. We're going to start it off with that, Tyler. We're going to be talking about the standings, how things are looking in the NHL right now. And we're also going to be having a new segment, Tyler,
which we will announce right after those two. So, without further ado, let's go with our recap from the trade deadline. So I know it's been a while since we actually did do an episode on YouTube. We did a live stream that day, and it didn't upload because YouTube was just not cooperating with me, but we did do a full...
Didn't go very well.
That day.
We tried our best.
We did do a full live stream that day. So we're going to go back to about, I want to say, February 16th. We're going to go all the way back. Throwback Thursday, even though it's Tuesday, you know. I'm just going to roll with that because it sounded cool at the time. But yeah. So, you know what? We got to make a few jokes here and there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
this,
we have to
like this joke of a
in there.
Spooner goes to the Canucks in exchange for Sam Gagner to the Oilers. Oiler for life. Oiler for life.
I mean, now the Canucks have a really good player that they can bring up if somebody gets injured.
Spooner, I don't think Spooner's going to be a regular. I think he's going to be. It's either they play him as a healthy scratch or he's going to be in the AHL.
Yeah. He's just not as good as... I'm going to be honest right now. He had potential. He had potential to be something really good. He did really good for Boston, and now he's just fallen off the board. Like, I just don't understand.
I can say this.
He had so much momentum, and it's just gone now. Now he's just stuck in the AHL for life, pretty much.
I think where it went wrong was that Boston misused him in the end. They were eating up all of his talent, and then they got someone like David Backes to replace him, and he was no longer usable at that point.
Yeah.
So I think what they did was they just basically said, all right, enough's enough. You're out. Beat it. Scram. Go to a new team. Figure you're there.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
That's basically what happened there. Speaking of one for ones.
I agree.
Okay, so this one was sort of interesting. Peter Holland goes from the Rangers to the Blackhawks in exchange for Darren Radish, who's a defenseman, a minor league defenseman, former Erie Otters alumni, for those of you who are Erie Otters fans. So Darren Radish, basically, he hasn't been too bad for Rockford, but I think what this was it was just kind of it was to make the fourth line for Chicago stronger, I think. And it was
I think so too. It's just a fourth line for a minor leaguer. Really much a nothing trade.
Oh, exactly. And you know what? Honestly, I think that, Darren Radish, he's a 6-foot defenseman, 201 pounds. He's a good defenseman when it comes to, handling the puck.
And speaking of Radish, also his brother as well, Taylor Radish. I think, honestly, the Lightning, I know this is totally off topic, by the way, but I think the Lightning should trade Taylor Radish because he's not going to get playing time in Tampa Bay. He's really not.
Yeah, I really don't think
he really wants to make a name for himself like he did in the juniors and for the Otters, I think he should go to another organization. Maybe he could get called up. I still think he's got potential to be something great.
I'll be honest with you, anything could happen. I mean, I think it's a great idea for the Rangers to trade for Radish, especially because he's still young. He's 23 years old.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then they have both Radish. You have Darren on the
they have the
Taylor up front, and you have Taylor up front.
They have the Radishes now. All they need is other players.
In my opinion, I think the Rangers should be looking at Taylor Radish.
I agree. And then plus, if you have both the Radish brothers, now you just have to get players that are named after food, and then you get a bar.
Yeah.
You got your own food bar. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. Peter Holland was a former Leaf, by the way, which sad face.
Former Leaf.
Sad face. Now we move on to one of the trades that I thought was pretty interesting by Boston to go for, and that was when to the Boston Bruins goes Charlie Coyle, and to the other way goes Ryan Donato and a conditional 5th. That condition
again, it's the same thing as the Spooner trade. Same thing as the Spooner trade. Donato didn't really work out in Boston, so they really traded him to give him new scenery and give him a chance where he's actually going to shine.
Yeah, and it was a ridiculous trade. I think that Charlie Coyle, that was pretty interesting because I was actually kind of shocked when I saw that at first because I was just like, I didn't know what they were going to do with Coyle. Yeah. They obviously want to get rid of that Backus contract. And I don't know, Coyle could have played center.
I don't know why they didn't get rid of the Backus contract yet. They had a good chance to do it at the trade deadline.
Well, Cameron, you got to think too. It's what was it, $6.5 million a season or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
What team is going to take that contract? And they don't want to retain any salary from that.
Well, I mean, they're really going to have to.
I'm not going to lie. I was kind of disappointed that they traded Ryan Donato because he seemed like
it's really dumb of Boston to sign him for $6.5 a year, and he's not even worth that much.
Well, yeah, you look back on it now, but I mean, at the time he was legit. He was a top 6 forward. Now he's a bottom 6.
He was a top 10 center in the NHL. When you look back at it, but now he's getting up there in age. He's not producing as he used to, and now he's just pretty much a third and fourth liner.
I think Charlie Coyle was a great addition.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Charlie Coyle is a great addition.
Oh, absolutely,
I just don't know. It's mixed feelings. Donato's got new scenery. He's got a chance to shine now, pretty much. And I think it was a good trade for both sides.
I agree. I don't happen to remember what the condition was on that trade, but it will probably resurface at some point. So, oh man, This next one is going to piss off Penguins fans till the day they go to the grave. The Capitals acquire Carl Hagelin from the Los Angeles Kings for a third in 2019 and a sixth in 2020. A conditional sixth.
I mean, again, a nothing trade.
But Hagelin,
again, not as good as he used to be. Same thing as Bacchus. Moving on.
This is one trade that I was not surprised at all that he got moved. This was one of the big ones that happened before the deadline that we were just kind of freaking out about because there's not going to be any good trades left before the deadline. That's what I said. And then there was. So Matt Duchene goes from the Ottawa Senators to the Columbus Blue Jackets, along with Julius Bergman, in exchange for Vitaly Abramov, Jonathan Davidson, and an optional first-round pick of a 2019 or 2020 first-rounder, and another conditional first.
Oh, my goodness.
I believe I'm going to look up the conditions of the trade. But that was one of the big blockbusters. Cameron, what did you think about that?
I was honestly very, very shocked that this trade happened. I was very shocked. I didn't find out about it until I woke up. I did not even notice about it until I woke up. And then all I see is Matt Duchene has been traded from the Ottawa Senators to the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm like, no.
That's sad because
I'm going to be honest. I thought he was going to resign with the Ottawa Senators. Now, the other player that we're going to mention in a little bit, we're not going to name it, but yeah, he wasn't going to resign. But I thought Duchene was actually going to resign, though.
Yeah,
sounded pretty legit, but I guess Pierre Dorian had other plans. He wants to build towards the future, and I get it. I really get it. They are 110% a rebuilding team. They are the biggest rebuilding team right now in the NHL. And poor Pierre Dorian. If any true hockey fan understands this, you will get it. Chris Kunitz ruined the Ottawa Senators franchise.
With one single overtime goal.
You're welcome.
That to the list of resumes. Let's add that to the resume for Chris Kunitz's thing. Okay, so the condition
every Ottawa fan hates Chris Kunitz.
So the condition of the pick is the 2019 pick involved in the deal is a lottery pick protected if it falls to the top three, meaning Ottawa would instead get the Blue Jackets first rounder in 2020 in that scenario, and then receive their top draft selection in 2021 if Duchene resigns. So if Duchene, the conditional one was if Duchene resigns, they get the pick in 2021. And this one is lottery protected. So if the Blue Jackets fall out of the playoff contention and it becomes a top three pick, it's lottery protected. So they could either choose to give up their pick from this year or next year.
Wow.
I think that was a bold move by Columbus. They're going for they're going all in.
They're going all in.
They're going for a cup run.
Yeah.
The next trade disappoints me because he was one of my favorite San Jose Barracuda. Florida Panthers acquire Vinny Propland. Future considerations.
But anyways, I'd still want to talk about that Duchene trade. Just for a couple seconds here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Vitaly Abramov is going to be a big part to that team in the future. People may not see that, but Vitaly Abramov is one of those players that could just come out of nowhere and just blow everybody away.
I'll say this: I was watching some of the old Victoriaville games when he played for the Tigers. This kid is like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I kind of kept up with him in the AHL, not as much as I probably should have. But man, this guy is like, he's something else.
I think I like him.
Oh,
They do good.
When he was in junior, he was kind of that player that's like, he's got that big body, or sorry, he's not that big body. He's got the speed.
Yeah,
you know,
what is he, like 5'7", 5'8"?
5'9", and he's 171 pounds.
Yeah, he's a speed. He's a
65th overall.
He's a speedy mofo.
Yeah, just to say the least. And then, oh man,
Really
Davidson.
fast. Davidson, though, I don't think that's just going to be a big part. Jonathan Davidson, though, he's still a pretty good player, but I think he's going to be at least a third liner. I think.
You know what? I think that he's 21 years old. He's 5'11", so he's almost 6 foot. This marks the day that he could break into the NHL at any time. He hasn't played a game in North America yet. He's still in Sweden. He was still in Sweden, so he hasn't played a game in North America that I know of, but he was drafted 170th overall by the Blue Jackets in 2017. He's a right wing, right-handed shot, 185 pounds. This guy's he's going to be a good prospect for Ottawa for sure. He's one to watch out for. I just want to point out that the Senators got 2 Swedes in exchange for a Swede and a Canadian.
Oh, absolutely.
They like their Swedes, which, we're going to get to the Swedes in a minute. Next trade, the Capitals acquire Nick Jensen and a 2019 fifth for Madison Bowie and a 2020 second. What in the actual insert caption here?
Oh my God. What is Washington doing?
I hope you know what you're... Brian McClellan, what are you doing, man?
I'm sorry, but why would you trade one of your top young defensemen for a player? Yeah, he's a good defenseman. He's good. He's good at blocking shots. But he's not your 20-minute defenseman. He doesn't play 20 minutes a game. All he does is just block shots. It's good, but...
Cameron, you know what I think personally led to that trade?
What do you like?
I don't think that Todd Reirden really liked Madison Bowie the way that he was playing. And I think that really Bowie was trying to get more minutes when... I don't think he was a fit on that team. So personally, what I think led to that trade was the Capitals were looking for another defenseman who was just like Bowie, except for cheaper. And I think really Detroit hands down won that one because Madison Bowie is just an amazing defenseman. I've watched him all throughout the years, especially in Hershey. He's just outstanding. Nick Jensen's good too, but Madison Bowie's just, he's a breathtaking. And he played for Kelowna, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
He played for the Kelowna Rockets, so he was just even... Oh, man. There's really... I guess what I'm trying to say is he's a defenseman that a lot of people were after.
Oh, absolutely.
And to just give him away like that, that's kind of sad. And then for a second round pick in that trade as well, it's kind of a steep price, Washington. But if you're going for another cup run, then by all means, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to the next one. You're going to be sad about this one. The Dallas Stars acquire Ben Lovejoy from the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Connor Carrick and a third.
A meaningless trade again, but really, Dallas? Really? Ben Lovejoy.
And hey, he sounds like a happy guy.
Ben Lovejoy. Ben Lovejoy. I repeat, Tyler. Ben Lovejoy.
Oh, jeez.
Pittsburgh fans hate that name. Pittsburgh fans really hate that name.
I have no words on that. That was just Connor Carrick is, yeah.
He's a good defenseman, but why would they trade him for Ben Lovejoy?
And okay, before we move on to the next trade here, I want to talk about the Zuccarello trade that happened later on the 23rd. So Dallas Stars go from 0 to 60 real friggin' quick, or so we thought, and get Matt Zuccarello from the Rangers.
And then in the first game he played,
his first game as a Dallas Star, he gets friggin' injured with a broken arm.
Broke his arm, done for the year.
Anyways, so they traded a conditional second in 2019 and a conditional third in 2020. You want to know what those conditions were?
What were the conditions, Tyler?
Conditional second becomes a first if Dallas wins 2 playoff rounds, while the conditional third becomes a first if Zuccarello stays in Dallas next season.
Yeah.
The hell? Why? Why would you give basically 2 first rounders for an aging veteran who you don't even know is going to return to your team?
I
Basically,
don't get it.
I
just don't get it.
I mean, that was good on Dallas, but I mean, that kind of backfired on them. I saw this thing on Twitter where it's just like, what do you call it? It was actually pretty funny when I saw it. It was, it showed the picture of Zuccarello breaking his arm, or it showed like the headline the next day. And then it shows Lindy Ruff saying, does this trade come with a return policy?
That's a joke.
That's a joke. Shout out to Jesse Pollock for resurfacing that. And then earlier that day, let's backtrack to a couple of hours. The Blue Jackets again doing business with the Senators, getting Ryan Dzingel, a 2019 7th round pick, in exchange for Anthony Duclair, a 2020 second, and a 2021 second.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, it's official. Columbus has officially acquired everybody in the National Hockey League. Cancel the league now.
Weak! Oh, no.
2 week!
We called it!
Week!
Oh,
Can't do that. Ottawa is big time. Okay. What I think personally about that trade is it was good for both sides. Because, again, it kind of increases the depth for Columbus. And especially because they're going on, I can tell they're going on a deep playoff run. And then Anthony Duclair he never really panned out with the Rangers. He was doing okay with the Coyotes, and now for the Senators, I think he's going to do a little bit better if he has good line mates. But the Senators really won that trade with the 2 second-round picks that they could use to draft top-tier prospects.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. But, I think that Ottawa really won that trade. But it was a mutual. It was a good trade for both sides.
Yeah.
That's what I think of that. Now,
yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the Dzingel trade?
It's just Ottawa cleaning house.
Just Ottawa cleaning house.
That's pretty much what it is.
All right, and now this is not really a huge one, but this was also this is an interesting one as well. So the Kings acquire Spencer Watson from the Blackhawks in exchange for Matheson Iacopelli. No idea who the hell that is.
Former Mississauga Steelhead and Spencer Watson.
Spencer Watson. That's right. And I don't know much about Matheson Iacopelli. I mean, I've heard his name, but I really don't know too much about him. Spencer Watson, though, played for the Steelheads. He was just one of the most outstanding players I've ever watched. LA, wow, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Again, not a big trade. Nick Baptiste from the Predators to the Leafs for future considerations.
Yep.
Not bad. Adds to the Marlies' depth.
Yep.
Adds to the Marlies' depth. Now here's one that you were kind of shocked about this. The Buffalo Sabres acquired defenseman Brandon Montour from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Brendan Gooley and a 2019 first-round pick.
Now this one,
I believe it was the San Jose pick.
Let me say something, Tyler. Here, that is your favorite line right there. Anyway, all right. So, anyways, I'm gonna say it again for you. Let me say something here. All right. So, I don't know what the heck. I don't know what the heck the Ducks are doing. What are you doing? Oh, and the Sabres. What are you doing?
Oh,
all right. So, Bob. Wait, no, it's not Bob Murray. Is it? Is that
it
his
is Bob
name?
Murray.
It is Bob
Yep,
Murray.
Bob
Okay.
Murray, the GM of the Ducks.
I was thinking of Brian Murray. Okay, Bob Murray. Okay, Bob Murray and Jason Botterill. What are you doing? Well, what are you two doing? You guys are trading away pretty much two good defensemen. Brendan Gooley going to be an amazing defenseman. All right, he's going to be a good defenseman. Don't get me wrong. Why would you trade him though, Jason Botterill? Why would you trade him?
Here's what I think.
You could not just wait. You couldn't just wait. You guys are clearly not going to make the playoffs. Clearly not going to make the playoffs. So why do you get Brandon Montour? Why?
Cameron, that's what I really wanted to. That's what I was just going to touch on as well, because it doesn't.
I need answers. Why?
Cameron, that's what I was going to touch on next, is the fact that I don't understand why that was a thing, because neither team's making the playoffs. Brandon Montour is, I think, 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
I think you're right.
He's not exactly the youngest defenseman in the patch, but at the same time,
he's a good second line defenseman. If that, he's your good top four. He's an easy top four.
Yeah, easily. And what I think opens a door for Buffalo kind of defensively, because it gives Rasmus Dahlin someone to kind of rely on. Not that he was going to be the first. Yeah, he is 24. So he's gonna be a good defenseman for Buffalo coming up in the next season. I don't think he's gonna make an immediate impact when he gets there. But again, Anaheim made good on that trade when they got that first round pick. I believe it was San Jose's first round pick, if I'm not mistaken. But trading away Brendan Gooley, who he's going to be a hell of a player. After watching a couple of games with the Marlies and Rochester, Gooley he's so good. There's no...
Yeah, he's your shutdown defenseman.
It's almost like the Leafs kind of missed out on drafting him, which I wish they would have.
Shutdown. He's pretty much your daily shutdown. Pretty much your daily shutdown defenseman.
Your stay-at-home defenseman.
He could easily be a top two shutdown defenseman.
Which he's going to be very useful for Anaheim. Well done, Bob Murray, on that one. Up next.
Yeah, very good.
We're just going to, Patrick Siloff.
And somebody else is going to be a beast as well. He's actually his younger brother, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Tyler. His younger brother, Caden Gooley.
Yes, that's right.
Who is playing for Prince Albert right now. He is a projected top 15 pick. He is going to be a hell of a player too. Imagine having both of them. Oh my goodness gracious, man.
Imagine that.
Could you imagine? Imagine?
Yeah.
Right. So continuing with the trades, Tyler.
Up to the next one is just kind of a pointless move again. Patrick Siloff goes to Anaheim in exchange for Brian Gibbons. Not a big move. Not really that relevant either.
Not a big move. And as we are recording this, I was just watching highlights for SportsCenter, and I just noticed that Brian Gibbons scored his first goal as a member of the Ottawa Senators.
That's Brian on being on New Year's Eve. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Logan Brown, the Ottawa Senators prospect. He turns 21 today.
Happy birthday, Logan.
On another note, next trade that we're going to get to, which was this was the first trade of the trade deadline, and this was at midnight Eastern time. The San Jose Sharks got Gustav Nyquist from the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for a 2019 second and a 2020 third round pick, which was a conditional pick as well.
Let me give you my opinion on this trade.
Please.
Now this trade I think is good because it's gonna really help the Sharks in the playoff run for sure. It is definitely gonna help them.
Absolutely.
Because now they've got a really good second liner. They've got a really good second liner who's a good goal scorer, who was a good goal scorer for Detroit.
And just think about the fact that he's been there forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I find kind of funny about that is they were doing the player profiles a few days before that. And Gustav Nyquist, he even said that his biggest fear was sharks.
Yeah.
I find that kind of ironic they traded him to San Jose.
Yeah.
A few days after he did the player profile there, but it's kind of funny. But you know what? Yeah, like you said, I think it's going to work out for both sides. San Jose is really looking to go for a deep playoff run, like they did in 2016 against the Penguins, which I was sad that they lost that year. But yeah, they're really just looking. And then Detroit, who's sort of in a meta rebuild stage. What I mean by that is like they half are, half not. They're not making the playoffs, but they could very well do it if they put the assets in to do it. So it works out both sides pretty well. Either way, well done, Ken Holland. Well done. Okay, moving on to the next trade, which we all thought that this was going to be the end of the earth because the Devils earlier in the day made a trade. Keith Kincaid, the Blue Jackets, for a 2022 fifth round pick.
Now, we're gonna say something here. We originally
Wilson, that's who the GM of the Sharks is,
and I'm gonna spoil it for you guys right now. If you guys did not watch the trade deadline, or you guys do not watch hockey and you just watch the podcast, we originally thought we're gonna spoil it for you right now. If you do not watch hockey or anything. We originally thought that Sergei Bobrovsky was going to be on the move when this trade happened.
And
it didn't happen.
Man, were we disappointed. But yeah, when this trade first went down, that's what I exactly thought. I messaged Cameron. I think it was like 8:30 or something when it started. He was like passed out, and then
I woke up at like 9:30. I woke up at like what 10:30, and then I got on Xbox and I found out that Kincaid got traded, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Should have heard his reaction.
I was like, "Oh my god, is Sergei Bobrovsky going to be on the move?" It was much louder than that, but
yeah, and he could pretty much choice words. He threw in a few choice words for that too. So, and then the next one
said on here.
The next one, I think that both of us kind of flipped out about because we knew Kevin Hayes was going to get traded, but this team, the Winnipeg Jets, got him in exchange for Brendan Lemieux, a 2019 first and a 2022 fourth, conditional fourth. That is a hell of a return for the.
Oh yeah, Rangers. I'm going to say this right now. People don't know this, but Kevin Hayes is probably one of the most underrated centermen in the entire NHL.
Kevin Hayes.
Yeah. One of the most underrated players in the NHL. He is so good.
You know what, Cameron? I had someone come up to me earlier and say Kevin Hayes is overpaid. $5 million a year is overpaid for him. No.
It's overpaid, yes. But I would be fine if he got at least like 4.5, 4 mil. I'd be fine with 4 mil. That would be fine for Kevin Hayes, in my opinion.
I think that contract's perfect because he's eventually gonna if he decides to re-sign with Winnipeg, he's gonna be a hell of a player for them.
Is $4.2 million for Kevin.
I think that contract.
That is
$5
the
million
max
contract is
Kevin.
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Then for the Rangers, they got Brendan Lemieux, Oh yeah, and by the way, just to clear this up, he is not related to Mario Lemieux in any way. For those of you who are probably wondering, Brendan Lemieux, however, is a top-tier prospect. And he was really good for the Manitoba Moose. So he will continue to be good for the Hartford Wolfpack. That team is already lethal as it is, with a couple of great shots. I believe Philip Hedel was playing down there last season. And Elias Anderson is playing there currently. Just imagine those two playing on the same line. Whew. Jeez. And the 2019 first could be like anybody at this point.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for both sides. Again, Jordan Wheel goes to the Coyotes in exchange for Michael Chaput.
Yeah.
Meh. That's all I got to say about that.
Guys, I'm just saying, you may think this episode's long right now, but it's going to be a pretty long episode.
That's not bad.
But so, like I said, guys, I forgot to say this earlier. Grab some popcorn. Get a little snack.
A little bit late to be telling them that.
Get some drink. Get some beverages. Whatever you use. Sit back and just listen to the podcast.
The trades are almost over as well anyway. So
the trades are almost over. We're trying to get through this as fast as possible.
This one was basically just an exchange for future considerations. It's basically Yurko goes to the Hurricanes from the Panthers, and Cliff Poo goes to the Hurricanes, or from the Hurricanes to the Panthers, both for future considerations.
Oh yeah, another meaningless. Well, Cliff Poo is going to be good though. Cliff Poo will be good.
Yeah, sorry, and I made a mistake on that one. He goes to the Panthers from the Hurricanes.
Yes,
it was a good trade for. Personally, I think that Florida won
Cliff
that.
Poo. So if you guys did not get it, Thomas Yurko goes to the Hurricanes, and Cliff Poo goes to the Panthers for future considerations. Yes.
Fantenberg goes to Calgary from Los Angeles for a 4th-round pick. Not a big deal.
No. Nope. Just the minor league.
Jacket to get our boy Adam McQuaid from the Rangers in exchange for Bergman and a 2019 4th plus a 2019 7th.
There's their shutdown defenseman. There's their shutdown defenseman right there. That's going to really help them in the playoffs, if they even make the playoffs.
We needed McQuaid. All right, up next, San Jose Sharks get Jonathan Dahlin from the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Linus Karlsson. San Jose wins.
Jonathan Dahlin was going to be a good player. Just don't think he's going to be a good player now.
But as we were saying, Jonathan Dahlin is just hands down a great prospect he was a great prospect for the Canucks, and now he's bringing his talents over to San Jose. Woo! Yeah, baby. Won that trade. We easily won that trade.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily. And Linus Karlsson was great too, but oh man, Jonathan Dahlin, the San Jose Barracuda are going on a vicious playoff run, and he definitely contributes to that. Absolutely. Moving on to our next trade. Marcus Johansson goes from the Devils to the Bruins in exchange for a 2nd in 2019 and a 2020 4th. I don't know if I like that trade.
Either.
Because Marcus Johansson, honestly, again, he's good, but meh. I don't know if I even really like that trade. I mean, the Bruins got their winger that they were looking for. She isn't bad at all. So I think it was a good move for Boston, but at the same time, I don't really.
It's just Johansson hasn't been good as he used to be.
Yeah, and plus they gave up, a 2nd and a 3rd. Yeah, I don't like the sound of that. Here, another not really huge trade either. Matt Hendricks for a 2020 7th. Hendricks goes from Minnesota back to Winnipeg.
Oh.
Let me just say this: being traded for a 7th-round pick is basically like getting slapped in the face.
Oh yeah.
Because that pretty much declares your value worthless. Up next, you were kind of surprised about this, but kind of not also, because this was one trade that I don't think either of us saw coming. Derek Brassard goes to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for a conditional 6th and a 3rd-round pick in 2020. You think about that one, Cam?
Well, there's your 3rd liner. There you go. You
And
want
Colorado
to
was looking for some depth.
got it.
I think Colorado was looking for some depth anyway. So
Don't
they got
worry, guys. We're coming up to the big trade. All right, we're coming up to it.
Everyone's probably giving us crap for the fact that, oh yeah, well, you need to announce a big trade soon because we're getting bored. Almost.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to announce that big trade last.
I think that was the last one of the deadline anyway.
No, it wasn't the last one. No.
Oh, actually, sorry. I was wrong about that. Okay.
We know which one's the big one. We know which one's the big one.
Yes, we all know that. The Penguins get Chris Weidman from the Florida Panthers in exchange for Jean-Sebastien Dia. Not a great trade for Pittsburgh. Weidman has been bounced around the league like a bounty ball.
Yeah.
I don't really like that trade. But it's okay, I guess. Up next, I absolutely hate the fact that Pittsburgh has a gritty defenseman now. Tanner Pearson goes from the Penguins to the Canucks in exchange for Eric Goodbranson. Heated.
Yeah.
Just I'm still heated because everybody else got a defenseman except for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Cameron. I think I know why the Leafs didn't go after a defenseman at the deadline.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're making room for Fedor Gordeev.
Fedor Gordeev.
Fedor Gordeev. He's our defenseman of the future. He's basically Zdeno Chara too. Have you seen this guy's height? He's 6'7". Same with Emily Rasanen. 6'7". Right-handed shot. Legend. Next, the Jets get Bogdan Keslavich. I've actually never heard of this guy before you told me about him.
Yeah.
And oh my god. Wow. Okay. For a 7th round pick in 2021.
Next. I mean, it's just a nothing trade again.
We're gonna announce some big trades coming up though too. But what we have right now, we're going to announce the top 3 after. But right now we have Alex Broadhurst to the Jets for future considerations. We've got
the big trades that happened. Yeah.
Winnipeg Jets get Bull U from the Sabres for a 6th. Del Zotto goes to the Blues from the Ducks for a 6th. Winnipeg Jets get Per Lindholm in exchange for Nick Petan. I love that. I love the look of that trade. Nick Petan is a beast.
Oh yeah.
I love Nick Petan. He's friggin' awesome. So here's what I'm thinking now. We're getting into the top 3 trades of the deadline, which easily
are they the final 3 trades? Are they the final 3 trades?
They are the final 3 trades, yes.
All right. Here we go. Number 3.
From the Minnesota Wild goes Mikael Granlund. To which team, you ask? The Nashville Predators. And who did said Predators give up for him? Kevin Fiala, straight up.
I have mixed feelings about this. Trip.
Why must you do this, Nashville?
Fiala's a good young player. Granlund is good as well.
Good old player. Sorry.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it.
26.
But either way, I think both sides did pretty good.
I think, you know what? I think for, the funny thing is, though, too, Granlund, a lot of the time, Fiala has been compared to Granlund. And
yeah,
I think that it really worked out for Minnesota because he's basically getting Granlund 2, but younger.
Yeah.
And Nashville, again, being the team that they are, lethality, going for a playoff run.
Oh.
They needed Granlund. Personally, I think if I was Minnesota, I would have asked for something more. But then again, it was, I don't know, to me it seemed pretty even. Even. Now, this one wasn't even fair.
Now, this one's the big trade that's going to get, I think, Nashville pretty far in the playoffs.
This wasn't even fair. I'm just going to comment on this. Dave Poyle, how did you manage to fleece 2 teams in the same day? The Predators get Wayne Simmons from the Flyers in exchange for Ryan Hartman and a 2024th.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
Why? Why must they? Why? Why does Nashville do this to us?
That was really
Leafs
dumb.
were so close to getting Simmons, and
Oh,
Nashville just said, "Nope."
Not have it.
Hey, Poyle's got money. He's got money, man. I'm telling you.
No, I think Simmons is going to do big things for that team. He's a big body.
Yep, he's going to cause a lot of damage.
Good goal scorer. And he's an agitator. Gets under people's skin.
Easily, I'll tell you this. Easily, Nashville's my pick for the Western Conference Finals. They are going to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. They're my team from the West.
Hey,
it's my team from the West.
First. And guys, the biggest trade, the biggest controversial trade of the day. This is it right here. Tyler, hit it.
You ready for this?
Yep.
Going to the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Tobias Lindbergh. I opened up with Lindbergh first. And Mark Stone. One of the biggest trade rumors that we've heard all summer long and all season long. Mark Stone and Tobias Lindbergh go to the Vegas Golden Knights from the Senators in exchange for Eric Brandstrom, Oscar Lindbergh, and a 2020 second-round pick. Wow. That's
all I gotta say. Wow. Where do I begin?
Well, you want me to go first this time?
You know what? You go first, Tyler.
Okay. What I think this is for Ottawa is pure liquidation. They obviously were not making the playoffs. They were selling high. And basically, what this means for Ottawa is that they've got Erik Karlsson 2.0. Sorry, Eric Brandstrom.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar, did I say Tobias Lindbergh? Oh, no. There's two Lindberghs in this trade. I just realized that now. Oscar Lindbergh's a good prospect. He's a half decent player. He's a third line forward, and they got a second round pick. Not bad.
Oh yeah,
not bad. Now Tobias Lindbergh,
AHL
player for life, and Mark Stone just signed a huge extension. What was it? $75 million, 8 years, $75 million.
$9.5 million a year
per season. That was what a contract and what a trade. George McPhee easily won that trade for Vegas if you look at it from a Vegas standpoint. But then again, you could also say Pierre Dorion fleeced them because of Eric Brandstrom. At least they didn't ask for Cody Glass.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. You guys ready for my opinion? Well, here you go. You guys are in for a doozy here.
Doozy.
I don't care what anybody says. Do not care. Your opinions. But anyways, Ottawa won this trade. I don't know why.
Why do you think that?
One player. Eric Brandstrom.
You mean Karlsson too?
I don't want to hear it. Anyways. Yes, Tyler. Eric Karlsson number 2, all right? Sure. But no, Eric Brandstrom.
They sure haven't screwed up with a Swedish defenseman before. I just took a shot at the Senators. Sens fans are gonna hate me or whatever. Whoever's left. Wow.
Whoever's left of the family.
Whoever didn't jump ship when they traded Karlsson away.
All right. So, anyways, Ottawa won this trade in the future. Right now, Vegas is the winner. but in the future, Ottawa is going to win it because Brandstrom, top 10 prospect. If you guys have not been looking at the prospect board or anything, he is a top 10 prospect right now.
Easily a top tier, which, wow, yeah, Ottawa won it for the future. Vegas won it for the now.
Absolutely.
That concludes the trade
that's
deadline.
a given. That's a given.
That concludes the trade deadline. So that was a bunch of trades. That was probably the best trade deadline that I've seen in the last 3-4 years.
I don't even care what anybody says. You may think I'm wrong, and I may be wrong. Because you never know. I think, in my opinion, Brandstrom will be better than Carlson.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you give him enough time, enough ice time, and compare him with the right people.
The way that kid skates is unbelievable.
If you pair him with the right...
he handles the puck is unbelievable. The way he shoots the puck is unbelievable. He is a puck-moving defenseman. And
every team should have.
And he's got a cannon. And he's a puck-moving defenseman. He gets assists, but man, can that guy rip a freaking puck.
It's just ridiculous. Like, jeez.
If you guys watch the World Juniors, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Eric Brandstrom is hands down one of the top 10 prospects in the NHL currently.
I don't even care. I rank him in my top 5.
Oh, hell. You know what? I'd probably rank him in my top 2. If I'm completely honest with you, I would rank him in my top 2.
Top 5 for me, top 2 for you, but
either way, you know what? It was a very eventful trade deadline. I say it was the best in the last 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
So lots of action happening. So we've got a little bit of an announcement.
A new segment. It is called, I believe, OHL 2020.
20 in 20 for our OHL series. So basically, this is going to be a separate show. We're going to have our main podcast still up, and then we're going to go all 20 episodes in 20 days for the OHL. And basically what we're going to be doing there is breaking down from this season and into next what each OHL team is going to be able to do. Starting off with the Barrie Colts, I do believe. We're going to be able to just kind of break down, first off, what are they looking like going into the playoffs starting soon, and what are they going to look like next year after they've gotten rid of some of their players and stuff like that. So we're basically, it's like the NHL's 31 and 31, but it's going to be an OHL 20 and 20. So it's our version of the NHL's 31 and 31. So we're really excited to bring in the series. Cameron, you and I are going to be breaking down, especially the Oshawa Generals it's going to be an interesting one to talk about there. But that's what we're going to be breaking down is OHL 20 and 20. So stay tuned for those episodes. They're going to be airing, I think, next week is when we're going to start it. And then we'll just keep going. There we go. Now, before we end it off, I know that I mentioned something about Ryan Gatto doing a segment on hits to the head and concussions. Now, that's actually going to be discussed in the next episode. He was actually finishing up writing an article this weekend, so it could be discussed anytime between the next time we record and, soon after that. So it's going to be an interesting segment, so keep your eyes open for that. Keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open, and that's definitely going to be discussed in the next episode. So that's 100% confirmed.
Definitely.
It's set in stone. So without further ado, Cameron, it's been a peaceful episode. We talked a little bit about the trades. We gave our standings predictions, and we announced a new segment called the OHL 20 and 20. I guess the only thing that's left to do is one last thing.
Oh, boy.
Want to do the honors? Signing off for the night?
Guys, have a good night. Have a good day. I don't know.
Once again, this has been Tyler Rains, your host of the Pro Shop Podcast, along with Cameron Reeser.
Cameron, the co-host of the podcast.
We would like to say goodnight to you all.
R.I.P. King Kong Bundy as well.
Yes, guys, before we go, just on a final note, On a final note, we actually just got the notification today that King Kong Bundy, one of another well-known wrestlers in the WWE, has passed away today as well. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. King Kong Bundy, and have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you guys next time.
Once again, thank you all for listening to the Pro Shot Podcast this week. We will see you on the next episode, and hopefully our OHL 20 and 20 series will be in full gear by then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this has been your host, Tyler Rains, along with Cameron Reeser. Good night, everyone. Yep.